We are back with the 2025 Ducati Panigale V4, and today I'm going to show you guys how to install the BT Moto lowering link. Now, as you can see here, we have two links. This is actually our prototype link right here that I've been using on the motorcycle. For the V4 race you guys saw, we actually used this exact link right here. This is actually the production link, very nice looking, says -1 inch on it. This is an I-beam design here to ensure that there's not going to be any stress fractures in the future for riding as hard as you want to ride with this thing. This is actually stronger than the stock unit. And because it's one piece with no moving parts, it also reduces any kind of failure points. Now you see there's a difference between this link and this link. This link has the bearings in it. Now we transfer the OEM bearings from the stock link to this link. You can of course grab an extra set of bearings if you don't want to keep pressing them, and you can get the bearings at Ducati Direct. And I think they're like 20 or 30 bucks each, something relatively cheap for these bearings. I would just grab an extra set and throw them in here so you have two sets, one in the stock link, one in this link, and I'll show you how to press them momentarily here. And this is simply going to replace one piece on the rear here, which we call the dog bone, or I call the dog bone, right there. So we're just gonna replace that. Now, if you happen to have a stock exhaust system, this is gonna be a little bit harder of an install because you gotta remove the exhaust to even get to that link. But if you have a slip-on or full system, it makes it very easy to get to that link. So why would you wanna lower the rear 1 inch on the bike? Well, some people just don't have the inseam to get their foot on the ground. This gives you an option where you can lower the back of the bike, which lowers the seat height as well. Now, later in the video, I'm also gonna tell you guys how to lower the front of the motorcycle as well, because to match the rear, you have to lower the front too. Another reason you wanna lower the bike is actually lower the center of gravity, or to make sure the bike doesn't lift up or wheelie, and that's for drag racing or roll racing. It also gives the bike a more aggressive look than it does stock. Now this is for the 25 plus Panigale V4 all models and the 26 V4R going forward. The 26 V4R is slightly different. When you lower it 1 inch on a Panigale V4, it'll only translate to 0.850 inches on the V4R because the link is slightly different. It is actually slightly adjustable on that as well, but you can put it to over 1 inch by adjusting the Öhlins to a couple clicks lower. That'll get you about 1.1 inches. So let's get started. First, we're gonna put the bike up on a stand. And I like using pit bull stands myself. One thing to watch out for when you're putting up on the rear stand, this line right here, this ABS line, sometimes it gets out of this plastic piece and runs a little bit wild, and that can get trapped in here and actually break the ABS line. Then you're having a really bad day because there's gonna be all kinds of errors. There'll be a Christmas tree on your dash. Don't do that. Now we also need a front stand for the front of the motorcycle, of course. Another thing you'll need here is a lift for the center. And I got this on Amazon. It's actually not bad. It's like 70 bucks on Amazon. And we're just gonna push that under where the pan is. Don't worry, you don't have to remove the lower fairings at all. There's actually a hole in the pan. You see that hole right here? We're actually gonna push up right up in this hole, and it's gonna hit the pan right there and not the bottom fairing. So you don't have to worry about damaging the bottom fairing or taking out all these lowers, which can be a hassle. Now this is relatively easy. We're just gonna jack this thing up, like I said. You don't have to worry about the plastic. Done this a bunch of times already on this bike. And we just wanna put a little pressure on the oil pan here. Depending on your exhaust system, you may want to just check the routing of everything down here and make sure it's not hitting the exhaust pipe. Now you can see I'm getting a little lift on the motorcycle. I'm putting pressure on it. That's all we want, is a little bit of pressure right now. That's all we want. Of course, after that, check your bike. Make sure you can shake it and make sure it's not moving around or dancing on you. Now I'm gonna move the kickstand out of the way. And all I gotta do here is remove this exhaust muffler right here, which is a couple springs for me, and I have full access to this link. I need access to 2 bolts, one right there and one right there, so we can remove this out. Now what you're gonna need here is a 15mm wrench. Also, you need an 8 Allen, long one, because it has to fit into this deep crevice right there. So first I'm just gonna break it loose. There we go, broke that loose, and we can break this one loose down here. There we go, until there's a nut in the back of it that starts spinning. I'm gonna close that up with this. You see the nut in the back is now out, but the bolt's not moving, right? Let me get the camera a little bit better for you guys here. Bolt's not moving. Okay, so this is where the center stand comes in. What you're gonna do is you're gonna lift up the motorcycle and then wiggle this at the same time while you're lifting up the motorcycle from that center jack stand. Keep moving it, keep moving it. There we go. See that? Now we know we're at a point where this dog bone here isn't holding the motorcycle anymore and the center stand is. So now I can pull this out and you can see this just falls right out just like that. Now all I have to do is pull this bolt out. This is a little harder because there's no way to actually pull it. There we go. This kind of pulls out just like that. You typically don't want to drop it, but I did drop it, so there we go. This is the back right here, and this is the front. There's a little bit of size difference and the head is different, so make sure you don't mix those up. Rear is longer than the front, and the front has a nut. Now we can do a comparison here. Again, these are both the exact same links, just one's prepped and one's not. But here's the OEM link right here. It's much heavier. And of course we have the bearings all through there, including the spacer in here as well. These push right out. You just push it. There it goes, right out right there. And then of course just pushes into the new one. Really easy, right? Now we've got all the links here. You just need to make your new link look like this link. So in order to do that, we have to press the bearings from the old link to the new link. Or if you have new bearings, you can go ahead and press those into the link. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, but I'm not going to show you on this bike because I already have a whole tutorial that works perfectly that I did for the BMW S1000RR. Now the S1000RR still has a dog bone link just like this does, and it actually has the same exact size bearing, but BMW charges 3 times the price that Ducati does for the same needle bearing. It's kind of crazy. And the other difference is the BMW one has a dust cover that goes over the needle bearing, whereas this one does not. If you guys want to learn how to press a bearing, that's next. If you don't need to learn how to press a bearing, just skip this part. Okay, let me walk you through how to swap the bearings out here. First of all, I use a Motion Pro bearing tool right here. You don't have to use this exact one, but it is like $100. It's a good quality tool. And we're gonna push our bushings out here, the metal bushings. Recommend you do this with gloves because it's gonna be a mess with grease. You have a paper towel ready, always wiping off your hands. You have a couple rubber bushings here as well on each side, so there'll be 4 rubber bushings. And I usually just press that out with everything else. So we're gonna use a 20mm bearing tool right here. Goes right in the center just like that. We gotta set this thing up now. Because this is Motion Pro, everything is going to be standard and not metric. So if you don't have a set of standard tools and you get this, make sure you do have a set of standard tools. This piece right here, it's kind of cup holds everything together. We're just gonna push this in like this, through there. Then we're gonna put our washer on the top of this, and our other nut at the other end of this. Push it about right there, push it through. Always put enough slack on this side, doesn't really matter if you have long enough deep sockets. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna push the bearing through here. Now, of course, it's 3/4 inch. Again, Motion Pro, that's all standard stuff. I'm sure you can do this whole thing by hand, but if you got the cool tools, why not use the cool tools? So 3/4, holding with a 3/4, and driving with a 3/4. Then all you do is this. And that is pushed out. You can see the bushing went out right in there, exactly how I wanted it. Just make sure you're careful with the needle bearing. And you can see the other bushing fell out on top of it right there. We're gonna do that for both sides, and after that we're gonna press them in to the new link. Okay, I'm definitely gonna use a little bit of grease right here for the new link. We're just gonna kind of put a little bit in there, a little bit in there. This is made to be just as tight as the OEM link, so we're gonna make sure we get some grease in there. Okay, now we're ready to press the bearings into the new link. So the way I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take off the dust guards. Those go in last. And I'm going to start with this, put it together again, start with that, push the bearing in by itself, just the needle bearing, and we're gonna put the needle bearing through there just like that. Now obviously I need to get a little bit of thread here, so let me just go ahead and do this. There we go, now we're all the way to the end. Get this bearing ready to go. All right. Now again, you just kind of get everything where it's ready and pressed. Make sure it's nice and even right there. I'm gonna push this up a little bit, like just like that. I think that's good. Nice and tight. You can see it's not going anywhere. Push this in here, and now we're gonna go ahead and drive this again, and this is gonna drive this in now. Now you don't want to drive it in too far, because we have all those other bushings we have to put into it. So you want to make sure it's nice and even in the link. So here's my first guess. Wrong. Definitely wrong. I have to go a little bit deeper on this one. It's been a while since I've done one of these. That's about center right there. That's exactly where we want it. Okay, now that this is all set up, now we gotta push the bushings into it. The bushings are directional, so whatever way they came out, they go back in. Pretty easy to tell, one side has a bunch of grease in it, one side doesn't. I'm gonna push all 4 of these in. After all 4 of them in, you wanna push the metal bushings back into it, carefully, because you wanna catch a needle bearing. So very carefully put them in there. Now let's go ahead and wipe this off. And that is a finished link. Now we can install it back in the bike. Okay, now you have the needle bearings pressed. And you can see right there, nice and even spacing, nice and even spacing. I made sure I made it as even as possible between both sides. That's something you want to strive to do as well. Once the bearings are pressed, you go ahead and push these in with a little bit of grease, and it's ready to go back into the motorcycle. And now that you have your prep link back in the motorcycle, you're good to install it. Now make sure the spacers are in there, pressed with the needle bearings. Be careful when you push those in as well, as it may catch a needle bearing and start pulling them out. Now, is this directional? Absolutely not. You can put whatever direction you want. I'd probably like it where it says Ducati 1 inch right there. And just kind of stick it in there. That's just my opinion. You can put it however you like though, it doesn't matter. And this is very easy. You just kind of line everything up, push it up in, push the bolts in and through. Go ahead and get the bolts started with your Allen. Just got it basically hand tight, and that's all we did right there. And then we're gonna go ahead and move this like this, and as you can see, it doesn't fit now. So what do you gotta do to make this fit now? We gotta lower the bike. So let me show you guys what I mean here. I'm gonna lower the bike. Meaning I'm just going this way with it, right? And let's see what happens there. As you can see, it's pulling the hole through, right? We're making the bike lower now. And you just want to line that hole up perfectly. That looks about right there. Now we're just gonna take that bolt we had, stick it right through. And again, you wanna make sure there's no resistance on the bolt. That means you got it right there. Then you can go ahead and add the nut to the back of this. Now with everything tightened down, you can go ahead and lower your motorcycle. And you can see how much lower we're getting now. That's definitely lower than stock. And of course, the final step here is to check your chain tension. Because guess what? Lowering the bike is going to stretch the bike a little bit, meaning the back tire is going to move back slightly, which will change the chain tension. That's a tongue twister. Now, after you get everything back together and you tighten everything and secure it up, you can drop the bike and the rear is done. Now you got to work on the front of the motorcycle. In the front, we found there's no real good way to lower it through the forks because the forks taper. You can see right here, they start to taper right around there. Now you can get a little bit of distance. You got about a 1/4 inch right here, as you can see, before the clip-on starts to get loose. And I've tried to lower this an inch before myself, it doesn't work. So lower it as low as you possibly can, and then you have to use our strap kit. So to lower the bike through the front forks, you need to get to this bolt and this bolt. They're both number 6 Allens, and the same on the other side here. One is for the tree here, one's for the clip-on. Clip-on's the lower and the tree is the upper. You also have to loosen up these bolts here. There's 2 for each fork. 2 there and 2 on the other side. Make sure you're also using that center jack that we use for lowering the bike. That's gonna hold the bike up because once you loose all this stuff, the bike's gonna fall down. So you wanna make sure you hold it up and secure it so that doesn't happen. And then slowly lower it. And then as much space as you have on each side here, you wanna make sure it's even on both sides of the forks before you tighten everything back up again. Now another thing we didn't talk about is the kickstand. The OEM kickstand, if you lower it inch in the front and the rear, is no longer going to work. What I would do is buy a fresh kickstand, cut it off right around there, and then you have an actual usable kickstand, or get a custom kickstand. But you only need a kickstand if you lower the front and rear 1 inch on this bike. Now we make a front strap kit just for the high pure Brembo calipers. And this is it on our Aprilia RSV4. You can see this is the strap kit right here. And we actually have this thing strapped down right now because this bike is also lowered 1 inch. And the custom kit we made actually has a titanium bolt that has safety wire provisions. The bolt is actually longer than stock. And it also has spacers. You can see we put a washer spacer in there because we want to push the strap mount back slightly. Only slightly. We've actually accounted for that in the measurement of the bolt as well. So why do we need a little spacer right there in between the strap mount and the caliper? Well, let me explain. See this mark right here? That's when I try to do it just the strap mount. So it does actually mar the high pure calipers, which, hey, that's how we test things. We tested our own stuff first, right? So that washer actually pushes the strap mount off so it doesn't mar the caliper. And why does the bolt need to be longer? Well, because we're pushing this bolt back. And because of that, there's actually not enough material in here to grab onto for the fork, which I've actually started pulling the threading out of our Ducati. And that's why we made this provision as well. So again, we test everything on our own bikes first. Now, once you have the strap mount mounted up, what I would do is stock as the bike sits. You'll see exactly how much resting room you have here on the fork. However much space you need more, whether it's a 1/4 inch, you need a 1/2 inch, something like that, that's how much you want to pull the strap down. So the strap has this piece right here, and you probably want a friend to help you, but you pull this piece up while you push down on the forks, and that will close this distance here. And you only want to do it exactly as much as you have on the back. If you do it too much, you'll feel it when you're turning. If you feel it too little, you feel it while you're turning. So just measure everything out and you'll be 100% good. Now the reason why you don't want to use the strap for all of it and as little as possible is because the strap is actually causing tension on the fork, and you want as much suspension as you can possibly get. So lower it through the fork as much as possible before the taper, and then the rest, the strap kit here, and the bike's gonna feel fine. We've been testing it without even moving this. We haven't moved this down whatsoever. And I've been just using it like this and riding around in potholes in Southern California, and this kit is actually fine. Actually lean the bike over, it feels good too. So that's gonna do it for our 1-inch lowering link install video. As usual, if you have any questions or ideas for new videos, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.